Hello Dairy Today viewers. On behalf of the advisor team here at Stewart Peterson, I'm Melissa Heaney with your weekend review for September 6, 2013. Let's take a closer look at the CME dairy components. At the settlement of Friday's close, block settled up 2 3/4 cents at 181. Barrel settled at 180 even, up 3 cents from last week. Butter settled down 3/4 cent at 143. September whey settled up at 58.25, and September non-fat dry milk settled at 179.95, up 2.95 cents from last week. Let's take a close look at Class 3 milk prices. September contract settled at 18.06, up 78 cents from last week. October settled at 17.86, up 13 cents. And November contract settled 16 cents lower from last week at 17.37. This leaves our 2013 average down 3 cents at 17.66. So let's take a closer look at our weekly block barrel average chart. It was a pretty quiet week this week with the holiday on Monday, and Tuesday and Wednesday we had 0 bids and offers. Thursday we had 2 bids in the barrel with 0 loads trading hands. Today was the most activity we've seen in cash cheese with more buyers stepping in. With the buying interest today, we settled the block barrel average at 180.5, up 2.87 cents. So let's take a closer look at our second monthly continuous chart. Please note that the August contract closed this week and settled at $17.91 for the month, making September now the front month and October moving on to our second month chart. It was a pretty mixed bag this week. We saw a high of $18.28, a low of $17.69. Today, October contract closed at $17.86, 3 cents lower than last week. So taking a close look at the fundamental side of things, weekly cheese stocks have come in pretty steady now for the 3rd week in a row, with inventory levels coming in at 109,462 million pounds, which is a little bit slightly higher than last week's levels. This same time last year, inventory was about 12% larger than it is now, at roughly about 124 million pounds accounted for. U.S. dairy exports were also reported this week for July. July came in just shy of 197,000 metric tons. As you can see here from the chart, July puts us about the 4th month in a row now where we have seen significantly higher levels than we've seen last year. So July puts us up 3.9% from June, 33.6% from this time last year, and from a year-to-date perspective, we're ahead about 13.2% than we were year-to-date this time last year. To break it down a little bit, cheese, butter, whey, and non-fat dry milk exports are all up from last year, with butter leading the way, which was up 153%. And all were up from last month, with the exception of whey, which was down 5% from June. Weekly cow slaughter came in this week at 58,700 head, which is about 800 head less than we've seen last week. As you can see from the chart, this is now the 2nd week in a row where we have seen slaughter lower than last year's numbers. Overall, year-to-date, slaughter is up 2.57% from what it was last year at this time. Now, although we are above last year's numbers year-to-date, we have been seeing our year-to-date numbers slowly declining from the year-to-date numbers we've seen back in March, which was up 5%. From a seasonal standpoint, we should see some strength coming into next week, and then the following week we should see that seasonal decline from to account for the Labor Day week this week, and then of course hopefully seeing some strength coming into the end of the year. So taking a look at the week ahead, we have the USDA supply and demand report along with the dairy cow slaughter report out on Thursday. On behalf of the Market 360 team here at Stewart Peterson, have a wonderful weekend.